Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I thought I'd actually go through the Spellbinders Glimmer machine and show you sort of step by step how to use it, as well as making a very simple but very pretty Valentine's card. So I've got some blush hot foil that I'm going to use today, and all I do is I have a piece of a really old cutting mat that is that blue thing that you can see there to the right, and I'm just going to use a sharp sort of craft knife and a metal ruler to sort of cut my cardstock down, not cardstock, my hot foil down. This actually worked better than I thought. It was just a trial and error thing, so I was chuffed that worked nicely. So I don't it's just an option if you don't have any other way. I find using scissors is a bit sort of clumsy, so and you don't get straight lines. Oh, well, I don't anyway. So this worked out really, really well, and it was just, like I say, just completely flying by the seat of my pants. Anyway, so with the machine, which is on the left, what I did was I've plugged it in. I then switched it on at the back of the machine and popped the plate, so the grey area, into the there's like a connector bit between the hot plate and the base. So I popped those two in together, and the red light is on the power light basically is the red light, which kind of looks orange on screen. And once it's ready, it will then change the second light down to a green one. And that means that we're ready to actually start hot foiling. So I probably won't hot foil on every single video. I might do some before, I actually make the video for you guys, but I thought I'd definitely show you how to actually get this going, and I love it. It's so easy. It's it's super simple. A couple of videos, or one of the videos coming up soon, I do find that I used another hot foil from another company, and it just gave me this more distressed kind of look, which I kind of ran with because I don't like wasting stuff. So you'll see that coming up soon. But if you're using Spellbinders foils in their machine, honestly, it works like a dream. So I would go for that. So the best way I found to get these sort of together, especially that I wanted this initial heart, which is kind of like a floral frame kind of thing. I wanted that in the center of that piece of pink cardstock. So what I did was I put the hot foil pretty side up, and then the foil plate on top of that face down. And now that you can see on my machine, it was ready. So the second light down was ready. I then turned that over so the back of the plate is touching the platform, and then popped the spacer plate and the shim on top of that. There's like a greeny color plate and a clear one, and then press the timer, which is that little button, which is what's flashing at the moment. So it takes about a minute and a half. I didn't actually time it, but that's what I've heard. And then I slowly pull it out of there, and I'm using my Big Shot, but I honestly go really slowly through this. It looks quicker here than what I actually ran it through, which is fair because I've sped up the video a bit, so you're not here all day. And so for this one, now that I've taken it out of the Big Shot, I then pop the platform back into the connector so that it can reheat or carry on heating. And then this is the little tool that you get with the machine, which helps you get the hot foil plates off of, wherever off the platform, because it can get a little warm, shall we say. Sometimes they are quite hot, so just be very careful. And then I sort of showed you what had come out of the machine, like after taking the hot foil off. So I didn't want to waste this piece because there's a whole section in the middle of where the floral frame is like I'll keep wanting to say heat embossed, where the floral frame has foiled, so I just used the center for the solid heart that's in this set. And I haven't even told you what set this is. This is the Spellbinders December 22 floral framed glimmering heart set. So yes, I'm a bit behind, but hey ho. So and then for this next piece, I'm actually grabbing some of the silver foil that came in the box with the Glimmer machine, and I have these pieces of cardstock are just random bits of cardstock that I've had in my stash for a while. So this is kind of a maroony color, but it went really nicely with the pale pink. And I wanted just a different color of the, like a different metallic, just to contrast a bit. Now I will say that cardstock does make a difference for so many things, but for hot foiling, it does make a difference how smooth their cardstock is. I honestly, you guys know me, I try whatever I've got. It doesn't bother me. I just try it and see what happens. Sometimes it comes out a little distressed looking, and sometimes it works beautifully, like this piece worked stunning. And it's just, look at that, beautiful. So you could also use this leftover piece on a solid plate, and do something else with the leftovers. So don't throw your leftovers away. But what I wanted to do was I wanted to use one of the sentiments for the card, and then there's a coordinating die that will help to cut round. It's like a banner die, but it goes in the same shape as the sentiment. So I was just lining up because I've got a certain amount of cardstock and there's quite a bit excess of foil there. So I just wanted to make sure that I was in the right spot. So I'm just taping these in place. This is actually Simon Says Stamps low tackless tape, but I don't know what it's called. Anyway, it's got hardly any tack on it, but it's really good for this sort of thing. So I'm just trying to hold everything in place so that nothing really shifts, because that's the main thing. You don't want it to move around. And then again, my platform's ready, so I've put the spacer plate and the clear shim over the top, or the shim and the clear plate, and then press the timer button. And as I'm waiting for the plates to heat up, I'm doing other things. So I'm cutting more cardstock, or more foil, or putting some of the dies away, that kind of thing. Now the nice thing about this set is there's also coordinating dies for the scalloped heart and the solid heart, as well as the banner that you saw very briefly there, that will help to cut out the sentiments. There's also like a die cut sentiment that you can do. So there's two foiling sentiments, and then or foiling plates for sentiments, and one for die cutting, which I think is nice, as well as some florals which I didn't use on this. But I have done a very quick previous video a week or so back, where I used just the hearts, the scalloped heart and the solid heart dies from this set, to create just a very simple little card. So if you want to check that out, that'd be awesome. So, and there's the two sentiments in the silver, which I think I said came in the box with the Glimmer system. So now what I'm going to do is I've got my hot foiling out the way. I'm now bringing back my Big Shot, and I'm just going to line up these dies over the top to die cut each of these pieces out, including the sentiment. So they line up really nicely. You get this really nice, like it's close enough to everything that you've got a tiny little border, which is just perfect. And then the like I say, the sentiment has got the little banner die, which is handy for a lot of things, because even a lot of like lawn fawn stamps are sort of curvy and stuff, and they're small enough that sort of size wavy border die will come in handy for so many other company stamps that you have. So don't just think one company with the things that you've bought. So just getting these off my platform thing, And now we can put the card together, I think. Or did I decide on something else? So I have a grey piece of cardstock that is 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 squared. So it's 8 1/2 scored at 4 1/4. And I decided that I didn't want that to be on the front. I like having a little border. I'm really funny about putting a whole sheet on, like to cover the whole of the front of a card. Occasionally I do that, but I do like a little border. So I actually have these, I don't even know the name of them. They're like a no-name brand that I found in a local store years ago. But basically it's like a little scalloped, not scalloped, stitched square die. So they're the only square dies I actually own at the moment. So they come in handy. And I just thought I used the next size down, and it literally took the tiniest little piece or like border off. I didn't totally line it up straight, but it's fine. We're just going to roll with it. But it just gives us a tiny border of the grey, and I just thought that tied things together. Even though there's not really any other grey on the card, there is silver, and silver and grey are kind of similar-ish. So I thought that worked nicely with the sentiment and the scalloped heart. And there's some nice stitching detail on it, so it's just another little something on the card. So just going to get this stuck down. Just with some tape runner. Use what you have. Wet glue would work fine too. And then there's that tiny little border. And then I couldn't decide whether I was going to put the heart together and pop it up with some foam. But actually there's so many, well, not so many, but there's enough layers that it gives it enough little, like a little bit of dimension, but not so dimensional that you need different postage. So it'll post really, really easily. Might take a while to get there, but it will post very nicely. And so I did the same with the sentiment, because there's a couple of layers of cardstock there. So I decided not to pop the sentiment up either, and just use some skinny, I think this is lawn fawn tape actually. It's nice and strong, and just kind of put the tape where I thought it would sit over the hearts, so there's none at the back of the bits that overhang, and just kind of popped it up in the middle, and that's it. How simple was that? And I know the hot foiling, obviously that takes a little bit of time to get all the hot foiling done, but it's just so pretty, and I just love it. I'm in love with this set. So I hope that was helpful, and I hope that you stick around for some more. I will be back. Bye for now.